this last section of the body of the text, which is called discussion and conclusions, and this one, of course, according to one of the articles or one of the journals, is saying that it should describe the meaning of the results, especially in the context of what was already known about the subject. So the results within the context of what has been done before about the topic. And the conclusions needs to be presented, should be general and specific. And of course, you are linking in this section between what has been done or back in the what has been mentioned in the introduction to this section. So you link this section back to the introduction and refer to the questions and the hypotheses. And also, this section should cover how the results relate to your expectations as a student and the cited sources that you have used. And this is according to one of the journals. Of course, I'm not mentioning the name of the journal so that I would not publicize that journal in particular, because it differs from one journal to another, of course. But I'm just giving you an idea of what the results, how the results are presented in the discussion and conclusion. You need to provide them and say that these results actually are there and they are supporting or contradicting an existing theory, for instance, which is number 5. You can always mention the limitations here of your study and that. And of course, limitation does not mean weaknesses of your work, but rather threads that other scholars and researchers can follow. Also, you can suggest further experiments that are or uses or extensions to what you have already done. So that is another form of telling future research what needs to be done. You can always also suggest practical applications for the results that you have come up with. So the discussion really should explain how your research has moved the body of scientific knowledge forward. So you're always furthering, you are always forward, you are telling us how to how it's moving forward in your research and how this is happening accordingly. And the next point, which is about the conclusions here, is that they should be supportable and they should not extend beyond the results that you have come up with. So don't have any, don't mention any undue speculation or bold judgments about the impact of the results of your work. Now here, of course, you do not summarize, because it's a conclusion, you do not summarize the article because it's already done in the abstract, so you don't need to do that. In other words, now the conclusion or discussion and conclusions should include the following: the results of the students, whether the students, of course, it's male or female, of course, so it's his or her results needs to be mentioned. He or she should use specific expressions. I mean, of course, the results directly supports the conclusions that you are coming up with, you know, in your work. So, in other words, so it's his or her conclusions. So these results directly support the conclusions. And of course, you can use specific expressions and quantitative description of your data. And another point is that she or he needs to only discuss what she has defined earlier in the article. In other words, here you do not mention something new.